Do you know what the word conejo in Spanish means? It means rabbit. And today we're talking about a very special rabbit, the Easter bunny, el conejo de Pascua, because it's Easter time.
By the end of this episode, amigos, you'll be able to know how to say these things like Easter eggs, chocolate, and describe what you do in Easter in Spanish with confidence. Vamos, Spanglish amigos. Let's do it.
Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigos, I'm Val, your experienced Spanish teacher and co-host from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
We'll help you get confident listening and speaking beginner Spanish with content you can actually use in real-life conversations.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on socials at Spanglish_Friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Hello, and welcome back. Big welcome if this is your first time ever joining us at Spanglish Friends. Welcome to our global community of beginner Spanish learners and welcome back to all of our regular Spanglish amigos.
Buenas. Bienvenidos a nuestro episodio 54. 54 episodes, amigos, of you pressing play and choosing to learn Spanish with us every week.
It's such a privilege. And today's episode is a fun seasonal episode because we're talking all about Easter, which is just around the corner, known in Spanish as La Pascua.
La Pascua is full of traditions that are perfect for beginner Spanish learner. Think Easter eggs, chocolates, egg hunts, and spending time with family.
Exactamente. So today we're going to teach you the Spanish words and frases, the phrases you need to talk about Easter traditions.
And just like always, we're keeping things simple with 3 things. We are going to remember our learning goals. Número 1, you'll learn some key Easter vocabulary. Número 2, you'll learn useful verbs to describe Easter activities like painting eggs, hiding them, and looking for them. And last one, número 3, you'll learn how to answer a very common question. ¿Qué haces en Pascua? What do you do at Easter time?
Firstly, as always, you're going to hear una conversación pequeña, a little mini conversation between your profe Val, your teacher Val, and myself about what we do at Easter time, putting everything we're about to learn into context. Then we'll break everything down step by step so you can start talking about Easter right away in Español.
Me encanta. Remember, friends, as always, the goal is not to understand every word in our mini conversation, okay? We are not trying to reach perfection, just listening for familiar words so you can prove to yourself just how much your Spanish listener skills are improving.
Ready, profe Val?
Sí, amiga, estoy lista. Comencemos. ¿Qué haces en Pascua?
En Pascua pinto huevos con mi familia. Después escondo los huevos en el jardín.
¡Qué divertido! ¿Y qué hace tu familia en Pascua?
Mi familia busca los huevos en el jardín. Es un juego muy divertido.
Me encanta. En mi familia también buscamos huevos de Pascua y comemos mucho chocolate.
¡Qué genial! Me encanta el chocolate. El conejo de Pascua trae huevos de chocolate también.
Sí, y usamos una canasta para recoger los huevos.
Suena como una Pascua muy divertida. Amigos, in just that little conversation, Val and I talked about what we do at Easter time, and you're going to be able to learn how to do so as well.
And you probably heard some new words like Pascua, huevos de Pascua, jardín, and conejo de Pascua.
We also use some really useful verbs, those action words like pintar, esconder, y buscar.
Now let's break those down so you can start talking about Easter traditions too after this episode.
Let's do it. And let's start, Profe Val, with some essential Easter vocabulary that our Spanglish friends need to know.
We now know that Easter is La Pascua. Another important phrase is los huevos de Pascua, which means Easter eggs. Eggs means los huevos. Specifically, you might have huevos de chocolate, chocolate eggs.
And if you've ever done an Easter egg hunt before, you'll know that the eggs are often hidden all over the jardín, which means garden in Spanish. We call this la búsqueda de huevos de Pascua, the Easter egg hunt.
Another fun Easter character is el conejo de Pascua, the Easter bunny. And of course, then you collect Easter eggs. You can often use una canasta. Una canasta means basket. Already, with just those words, you can start understanding simple conversations about Easter. Awesome.
Yes, so let's start putting sentences together to describe what people actually do at Easter time. For this, we need some useful verbs, those action words. Let's recap all of the action words, those verbs we used in our mini conversation, Val.
The first one is pintar. This means to paint. Many families paint or decorate eggs at Easter, so you could say, yo pinto huevos. I paint eggs. M said in our mini conversation, en Pascua pinto huevos con mi familia. At Easter time, I paint eggs with my family. That's a great activity.
Another common Easter activity is going to hide the eggs. The verb to hide is esconder. So you could say, escondo, I hide, los huevos, I hide the eggs. In our mini conversation, I said, después escondo los huevos en el jardín. After we paint them, después de pintar, after painting, escondo los huevos. I hide them in the garden, en el jardín.
And if someone hides eggs, someone else has to look for them, right? And here we would use the verb buscar, which means to look for. For example, yo busco los huevos. I look for the eggs.
That's right. And in our mini conversation, I said to Profe Val, mi familia busca los huevos en el jardín. Es un juego muy divertido. Breaking this down, I said, my family looks for eggs. Mi familia busca, look for the eggs. And es un juego muy divertido. It's a very fun game. Juego is a game, and divertido means fun.
And when you finally find an egg, you want to use the verb encontrar, which means to find. You could say, nosotros encontramos los huevos. We find the eggs.
Great vocab for beginner learners because not only is it useful for Easter, but they're great for a lot of other scenarios as well. You could hide a surprise for someone's birthday, or you could be finding, encontrando something that you've lost.
Useful verbs. Now you know some vocabulary and verbs, right? Let's learn how to answer an Easter question. That is, ¿qué haces en Pascua? Which means, what do you do at Easter time? We remember that haces comes from the verb hacer, which means to do.
That's right. It's a great question, so you can start talking about the activities you like to do. And the best part is your answer can be super simple. For example, en Pascua pinto huevos. At Easter time, I paint eggs.
Or you could say, en Pascua escondo huevos en el jardín. At Easter, I hide eggs in the garden. And of course, many people eat chocolate. So you could say, como chocolate en Pascua. I eat chocolate at Easter.
Me encanta el chocolate. I am so in love with chocolate. You could also ask, as I did in our mini conversation, ¿qué hace tu familia? ¿Y qué hace tu familia? Which means, what does your family do? That's a joining question to keep the conversation flowing with the other person you're talking to. Or you could just ask straight up, ¿qué hace tu familia para celebrar la Pascua? What does your family do to celebrate Easter? Celebrar is the verb to celebrate.
And there you can use all the verbs we've taught you. Little by little, amigos, your Spanish keeps growing every week.
So let's quickly recap how you've leveled up your Spanish skills today. You might want to write this down so you cement it in your mind and it's not just another podcast that you've listened to and the information goes out the other ear. So bring it home, Profe Val. What did we learn about La Pascua en español?
Aprendizaje número 1, learning number 1. You learn key Easter vocabulary like la Pascua, los huevos de Pascua, el conejo de Pascua, el jardín, and la canasta. Aprendizaje número 2. Learning number 2. You then learned useful verbs to describe Easter activities you do, like pintar, esconder, buscar, and encontrar. And Aprendizaje número 3, learning number 3. You learn how to answer the questions ¿Qué haces en Pascua? ¿Qué hace tu familia? And ¿Qué hace tu familia para celebrar Pascua?
Nice, amigos. It's time for you to be able to put what you've learnt today into action straight away with our reto de la semana, our challenge of the week. What is it, Profe Val?
This week's challenge is very special. We want you to tell us in one sentence what you do or your family do at Easter in Spanish. For example, en Pascua pinto huevos, or en Pascua escondo huevos en el jardín, o mi familia busca huevos de Pascua.
Post your sentences in the comments or send us a direct message, a DM on Instagram. We absolutely love seeing your practice and celebrate your Spanish wins. And Val's always perusing through the comments, ready to help anyone with their beginner Spanish.
Absolutely. Speaking of wins, this week's shout out goes to our Spanglish friends, another Emily, who left us a comment on Spotify.
She might have the best name, but I'm a bit biased here. They asked us a question on our episode about professions in Spanish, and she asked, ¿Cómo se dice landlord en español? How would you say landlord as a profession in Spanish? And what did we answer, Profe Val?
The answer here to this question is propietario or propietaria. In your case, you would say, soy propietaria. I am a landlord. Thanks so much for your question, Emmy. Nothing makes me happier than being able to help you all with your reto de la semana. Thank you so much for being part of your community.
That's awesome. So good. And a quick spoiler alert before we go, friends. Next week is our next video episode. Woohoo! And we're going to be talking about activities you can do at the beach in Spanish. Yay!
See, yes, we'll talk about the things you can do there, like snorkeling, sunbathing, swimming, sandcastles making, and much more. Great to prepare our amigos in the northern hemisphere as they are start to move into warmer month, and it's kind of our ode to summer as Em and I are saying goodbye to the summer, and we're getting into winter and cold weather.
Oh, the southern hemisphere. But it's great because we have amigos all over the world, and it's never a bad day to go to the beach if the sun is out. So we'll talk to you next week all about that. Ciao, amigos.
Stay tuned, friends. Que tengan una maravillosa semana, a wonderful week. Thanks for listening to Spanglish Friends. We're both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us, leave a rating, or tell a friend about the show. It helps our awesome community grow.
Join fellow beginner Spanish learners by following us on Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends.
Congratulations on taking another step in your Spanish learning journey.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.